Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Soulful Solutions. My name is Dr. Debbie Green. It's a pleasure having you with me today. I thank you for the opportunity to talk to you regarding this wonderful subject that we have today. The question is, how much do you value your peace? How much do you value your peace? How much does it mean to you? How much are you willing to give up to get your peace? How much? It's a very valuable question that most people don't often think about because they may be struggling right there. They may be struggling in trying to obtain peace. But most of all, do you know what it is? Do you know when you have it? Has it been a struggle for you ever since you were a child? Has it been a turmoil? I mean, some people's that they don't identify well what peace really is. We don't have world peace, do we? Everywhere you see people getting upset, they're arguing, they're spewing out their mouth obscenities, they're hurting each other. So peace is a commodity. It's an odd thing that usually you don't have. So let's take a closer look at that. I mean, when I first thought about this topic, I had to even ask myself, I said, well, Deb, do you have peace? Is it something that you wake up with? Is it something that you're still striving for? What is it? And my peace is different from your peace. Your peace of mind may be, oh, if my children are safe and healthy, I have a peace of mind. Or if my husband or wife is happy, I have a peace of mind. Or if I'm making enough money, oh, yeah, I have a peace of mind. Well, truth be told, anything can disturb your peace. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It can come from a past thought, it can come from a present thought, or it can even come from a future uncertainty. The question is, what happens when your peace is interrupted? How long does it happen? How often does it happen? Or is it something that you may be doing? Is something that you're not doing? And how valuable that is. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about value of peace of mind and how to obtain it and how to keep it. And you say, well, wait a minute, that's not easy. It's hard for me to keep peace of mind because I have these children that's running all around me. Every day I'm on this job and this supervisor, manager is getting on my nerves. Oh, when I'm driving in traffic, people seem to be all over the place, jumping in front of me. Okay, I get it. But that's not the kind of peace I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that kind of peace that's disturbed and distracted. I'm talking about your internal peace of mind. We have an external and we got an internal. Question is, which one are you focused on today? Are you focused on that outer external stuff to say, oh, that has to go right before I have my peace? Oh, they have to stop saying that before I have my peace. They have to stop doing that before I have my peace. Or I have to get this outside of myself before I have my peace. So look all those stipulations. All of those stipulations on there, just do you got to check off every box before your peace of mind is there? Question. Have none of all of that get interrupted? How you can't make that happen? have it is no accessibility to you, then what you gonna do? What's gonna happen? You're not gonna have the peace of mind because actually you did something, right? You compromised for your peace of mind. That's what I'm trying to get you to recognize. Peace is never compromised. It is something determined. It is something that we make a choice in a matter. We make the choice. Not if there's somebody that cuts us off, oh, I'm gonna get angry today. Oh, that irritates me. Okay, as soon as you said that, you interrupt your peace. When you went on your job and your boss seems that he's carrying you through all these changes, and you like, as soon as you see him, automatically the day that you woke up with is no longer the same day. External things can cause an internal conflict if you're not careful. And I call that peace stealers. Okay? Your peace can be stolen very easily if you don't know how to secure it. It's just like, for example, if you got a safe with all the money in it, you got a safe with all the money in it, but you left the door cracked. And then you want to know who went in there and stole my peace. Well, you left the door cracked. You left the door cracked. So what happens? Something will come in there, something, somewhere. If something is going to happen where it's going to come in there and it's going to steal your peace. And not only does it steal your peace, it keeps it. And it reminds you that your peace has been stolen over and over and over again. Oh, yeah. It's not just a one-time occurrence. Because when you allow your peace to be stolen, it will always be stolen. See, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You say, well, Dr. Dale, how can I protect myself in these things? So we're going to be talking about what they call 4 doors of peace stealers. Okay? 4 doors. You have the door of the mind, okay? The door of the heart, the door of the spirit, and the door of the body. Body. The door of the mind, the door of the spirit, the door of the body and heart. Now, the door of the mind. Let's take that one first, okay? Let's take that one first. Now, when we wake up in the morning, most people, okay, is going to wake up with some type of premonition thought process. Some type, whatever that type is. So it's, if you lay down with some type of thought process that was taking your peace, or worryation, rumination. Ruminating means that you're thinking about the same thing over and over and over and over, just like a broken record, okay? And worryation is just what it is. These are thought processes. When we lay down before we go to sleep, we need to clear those thought processes. And the way we clear them is by we say to ourselves, self, you are not allowed to lay down with anything but peace on your mind. And you have to open your mouth and say that so your subconscious can hear you. It's not just thinking it in your head. You know what I'm saying? Because some of you have too much things going on in your head. Too much things rushing about. You know what I'm talking about. Constantly rushing about. So I want you to be mindful. Be mindful of what is going on in here, because it's a gate, okay? A door. So if you leave that door open with all types of things that you're going to constantly keep worrying about, and what you worried for, because guess what? Worrying don't pay bills. Just hello. Worrying don't improve in nothing. It doesn't do any good whatsoever. And if you're the type, if you're a worrier, okay, if you got a habit of worry, you need to start thought filing. Okay, when the worry comes, oh, I'll worry about that tomorrow. Okay, and when tomorrow comes, you worry about it for a small smidgen of time. Stop putting limits amount of time if you're going to worry about something. Small time, small limits of time. You know why that's so important? Do you know worry does the worst things for a human being? Not only will it cause you stress, it will release hormones in your body, in your mind, that cause what they call stress radicals. Stress radicals cause sickness, mental sickness, as well as physical sickness. So one should not worry. And actually, it is a biblical rule. That's what God said. He said, you should not worry about things. You should not worry. And we worry about things that we can't change. We worry about things that other people worry about too. We worry about things that doesn't even belong to us at all. They could be our children's stuff, friends, whoever. You get adapted to that peace stealer, didn't you? Who told you you had to pick it up? Is that a law you made for yourself? A rule? Well, I'm so sorry it's not an option for you. Okay? In order for you to maintain your peace, you got to protect your mind. Your mind has to be protected. And if your mind is not protected, again, these doors are just gonna swing open every single time. Every single time you hear something that you feel is disturbing, you're gonna grab it. Keep your door closed. If you're gonna think about something, okay, think about it for a certain length of time. And after that, say, okay, that's enough. You know when you're overly thinking because it's going to keep going on and on. Don't wait until it gets into the revolving door because that's all it's doing. It's going in the mind, it's coming out of the mind, going in the mind, coming out of the mind. And every time that door, you go in and out that door, you steal more and more. And you give away more and more of your peace. Something's stealing your peace and you're giving away your peace. You know it. Hey, the world didn't give it, but the world sure can take it away if we allow it. Okay? One should have a peace that surpasses all understanding. Your peace should surpass all understanding. And you know what that means? That means that no matter what is going on in your life, being a past thought, being a present thought, or even something you may be concerned about your future, you have to make a choice right there in your moment, or whether you're going to hold on to this thing and keep it rolling around in your head, or say, okay, hey, it's out of my hands. Because guess what? It is. And if you believe in God, put it in His hands. Put it in His hands and leave it there and move on. Otherwise, you allow your peace again to keep getting stolen over and over and over again, and you become weaker minded. Weaker minded, low energy, low frequency. Because as long as the peace is being stolen, you can't. It's hard. It's very hard to focus when we're always thinking about something that is painful. Just be mindful of that. Understand that process. Understand the process. So again, protect your mind. Protect your mind from worryation. Protect your mind from picking up other people's burdens. And even with social media, when you're on social media and if something's disturbing you, turn it off. Don't just sit there and keep reading it over and over again. Leave it alone. You have to learn this thing called leave it alone. Okay? Leave it alone. Take your hands off it. Take your mind off of it. Leave it alone. It is very important. It is very, very important that you understand how to maneuver through life because everything around you is like a hurricane. Around me, around us, it's like a hurricane. People are going, I mean, they're mixing up like ants. They don't have no real destination. Some of us do, okay? Some of us are operating in purpose, and then some of us are operating in chaos. So they're jeopardized. Their peace is totally jeopardized by their actions, which is my next point. Look at your actions and your habits and ask yourself, are these habits and actions jeopardizing my peace of mind? Because sometimes we can be our own peace stealer. And if you say yes to that question, you need to closely examine yourself. Ask yourself, what should I change about this situation here? Because it just seems as though every time I do this, then this happens. Okay, that means that you got some self-awareness right there. And that self-awareness is extremely valuable to have. It's extremely valuable to have. When we don't have self-awareness, we will constantly keep doing the same things over and over again. And then we're trying to make excuses and explain them why that we're doing them. But guess what? They don't make sense at all. They don't make any sense whatsoever, but somehow our brains make sense of it. And all it does, again, it just causes a major, major issue. Down the line, you would determine, oh my God, all this time I've been doing this, and this is not healthy. Just be mindful of that. Be mindful. Okay? Keep your mind on positive things. You know, when you wake up in the morning, choose a word for today. A word that you want to think and want to feel. I don't care if your thoughts are not that way. Choose. You choose what you want to think. Stop allowing life to choose for you. You choose. You choose what you want. When you choose what you want in your day, for example, okay, the day was wonderful. That's my word for the day. Just wonderful. Wonderful is my energy today. Now, tomorrow, it may be something else, but for today, it's going to be wonderful. I choose to live the way I want to live because I am a free agent in this world. I am a free agent. That was given to me by God to choose what I desire, what I need for myself, what I want. So choose your word phrase in the morning. Early, when you're laying there right before you get up, what am I going to think about today? What do I want? It's like a genie in the bottle. When you speak it out and you want to speak it out, say, okay, I choose peace today. And you say, well, something may come because no, you got to remind yourself what you chose, regardless of what you see in the day now, okay? You got to remind yourself of what you chose. I see my co-host here. Let me go ahead and let her in.
Yes. Grand rising to everybody and
Morning,
all
morning, morning.
are joining
Great.
us for another word of wisdom from Dr. Debbie Green. Peace to everyone, as since we're talking about peace of mind.
Yes, ma'am.
And peace of mind is a choice
Uh-huh.
that we make based on what we choose to tell ourselves about everything that's happening. And you can look at the world and choose to look at all of the things going wrong, or you can look at the world and choose to look at all the things going right and be happy about it and be
Mhm.
at peace. So this is a definitely a perfect topic for me. I'm going through the process of learning how to control my thoughts about a thing, because the only thing that
Mm.
makes us miserable are our own thoughts, and the only thing that can
Right.
bring peace is our own thoughts. It doesn't matter what someone
Uh-huh.
else does, not what they do. It's what you think about what they do that disturbs your peace. So
Right.
if you think positive things about what's happening, then you'll be at peace. And if you think negative things about what's happening, you will not be at peace. So you have to choose peace because it really is a choice. So
It
I'm learning
is.
how to master my mind because that's where peace starts.
Mm. Mm. Well, that's exactly where we were right before you got on, is
Yeah.
understanding the mind gates. The mind has gates. The mind has gates, just like the heart has chambers. And they all are, we want each gate to be a area where, you know, a lot of people walk around with them all open and don't even realize it,
They don't
right?
realize.
But I want to make a point that yes, peace is a choice, but it's also a decision.
Mm,
And when we do this, we want to, if there is anything present that is challenging us in any type of way, we must recognize it what it is, if it's bad, good, or indifferent, and then make a decision and a choice, because both of those go together, of how we want to deal with it, how we want to handle it. And once we come to that understanding, then at that point, whatever the peace stealer was, we take the power back from it
mm,
automatically. It's all about shifting power. That's all it is. It's all about
yeah.
shifting power. And you said something, you said, I'm learning how. I'm learning how to do this. So that means if you're learning how to do it now, that means you might have been struggling with it at some given point, whenever that was.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
wise counselor helped me to see that I was creating my own misery because of how I was choosing to think about a situation. And we do that all the time.
Right.
Rather than us change how we think about something, we want someone else to change what they're doing. And we think that we have to be angry until they change what they're doing, when instead, all we have to do is
Oh,
change a thought in our own minds, and the anger or the
yeah.
frustration, the fear or the depression inside of us will be gone because we created it with our own thoughts.
Well, it's not what we hear, but how we respond to it, really, to be honest with you. It's not the
Yeah.
external, it's the internal. So if you're responding to something far as, let's say, give you an example. If somebody might have come to you with a very derogatory stance with words or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
you respond to them on the threat system. The threat system is like, oh, how dare you? Who are you talking to? Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the threat system, right?
Mm-hmm.
The threat system, I throw up my defenses automatically because I want you to know who I am, first of all, and
Mm-hmm.
what you cannot do to me. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now,
Yes.
that can go a couple of ways, like I said, I tell people, I don't want you to suppress a feeling. I really want you to execute that feeling in what they call a humble, assertive way. there's a way to say everything without allowing yourself to get ripped. And that's a word that Dr. Deb created. When you get ripped, you know how like ruffle your feathers,
Yeah.
ripped, you know what I'm saying? Like something can ruffle your feathers, and and I mean, and you will feel that, and it's normal, especially when you feel that you are right. Oh, and they are
Yeah.
so wrong for what they did, right? 'Cause you got a bridge. You got a bridge between you and them. It's a bridge there. Now, either you're gonna cross over to their side and allow them to win, or you're gonna stay on your side of the bridge and say, okay, I see that you are upset. And guess what? That does not belong to me.
Absolutely.
That doesn't belong to me. And I mean, you can say, I understand your thoughts, I understand your wishes, I all of that, but I'm so sorry. That doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to me. And the reason why it doesn't belong to me because it's coming out of you. It's not coming out of me, it's coming out of you. So why do you think I can just accept it as mine? So when I accept it as mine, then when I'm doing that gate in my heart, that gate in my mind is swung open automatically. And now all of that energy that was transferred would go deep down inside my being in microseconds. And it
Hmm.
will start a rift in my being. So if I was peaceful before hearing whatever it was or seeing whatever I saw, it's going to be that way. Now, mind you, okay, in a defense of the peace stealer, if somebody's violating you in some type of way, and especially if it's a whole different terms of words, because we see this every day on everywhere. If somebody could say something, you're like, well, I don't believe you said that. What were you thinking? That's just it. They were not thinking.
They were
Most
not.
people don't think before they open their mouth, right?
They
They
don't.
don't because we do this. I do this everywhere. It's a normal thing to do, especially when your threat system is present.
Hmm.
Because you
We
got a
don't.
drive system and you
Yes.
got a threat system, okay? And then you got a soothing system. Soothing. Woo, there you
Yes.
go. Okay, see that? That was some energy right there. When I said that, the energy, the whole internet just said, whoa, that's deep, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Drive system, threat system, soothing system. And I'm still talking about peace stealers, okay? I'm still talking about how much do you value your peace? How much do you value your peace? Because if you don't value your peace, your peace will never be valued. You will always be disturbed. You will always stay in your threat system. Then your brain will get used to that. Your autopilot, which is your subconscious mind, will get used to always being in the threat system. So you will be hypersensitive to things, sounds, everything, because you're constantly hyper aroused
Mm.
and you'll never have any peace.
Yes. Well, you mentioned earlier people
You
who have,
wouldn't even know what that is. You're just walking, yeah, walking on eggshells.
yeah. I mean, you mentioned people who've
Say
never had,
again.
think of the person who grows up in a dysfunctional family where that's everybody, that's what they do. They argue all the time. Everybody's angry. You're always on eggshells, like you say. So if a person grew up in that environment and they don't even know what peace feels like because it was never in their home. There was always emotional upset. And the best you could do is maybe avoid pain as much as possible. If you had parents that were always punitive and ready to spank or hit or slap the slightest infraction, or verbally assault you by calling you stupid or ignorant or lazy or hard-headed or whatever name they called you, whatever insult they threw at you. So if this is a state of being for all of your growing up, you don't know what it feels like to simply be at peace where you're not looking to avoid an attack or
Hmm.
you know trying to trying to soothe yourself after you've been attacked. I mean, if you have never had as a regular state of being, simple peace where you are not under anxiety, you don't know what it feels like. And so you create what it is you know. I see that happen all the time. People get into relationships with a person who doesn't know what peace feels like. And they believe that
Right.
interpersonal relationships have to be this intense conflict, and that's what they create. And they don't know how to simply be calm and at peace, and even if there's a difference of opinion, be able to just talk about it without there being an inflamed kind of confrontation where somebody's always upset. So how does a person learn
Hmm.
how to be at peace if they don't really know what that feels like because they really didn't experience it?
Well, again, we go back to self awareness. So, at some given point in their life, whether it's adolescence, young adult, or older adult, as they live, people are around other people who have peace of mind. And you say, well, that person don't seem like they're disturbed. They're not having a hard time. So why, I don't need to have a hard time either because they're talking about how their family's doing this and they're not doing that. So it is an interchange of thought process that the person, after being in the world or being around other people, should actually come to a understanding of, okay, I can make that choice too because I see that
Mm,
this person is doing it. I may not have it, I had it before in my life, and in my household when I was growing up. But then I can also make a choice right now where I am be the predeterminant of my fate. And I mean, from that point on, once they do that and they take it seriously, which is a point of, I call it the three C's. Okay, they may
mm,
be challenged by it. Okay, they want to have control of it, and they want to have this comprehension of it, because that's what life does. It'll challenge us, but we have to have control of it and we have to comprehend it. Because if you can have control of something, but if you don't understand it, then it's not going to be any use to you. And you can be challenged by it, but if you don't have no control or comprehension by it, you're not going to get it. So it's like those things are extremely important in life, because that's the thing that's going to bring commitment. So if we've ever been hurt by anyone at any time in our life, then we are the predeterminer of what, okay, how am I going to deal with that pain? I can allow
mm,
that pain to fester inside of me and go through, all of these emotions over and over again, or I can start to renew myself. The only way I'm going to renew myself is I have to make a choice to no longer allow myself to be a victim, because we go right back to being a victim. Victim
yeah,
mentality, when you have victim mentality, you have taken your peace and thrown it away. That
yes.
means you're going to be a victim to your past. You're going to be a victim to, to everything that's around you. You become a victim to it, you know? And those things that victimize you, if you say they victimize you, oh, they are doing this to me. Oh, they are doing that to me. Oh, they have done this to me. And I can't go on. I'm angry. Feel guilty. I feel shameful. I feel vengeful, or whatever the case may be. And you say that every day and you walk with that every day. Oh, your peace is definitely jeopardized.
Mm,
You're going to be jeopardized. Because now you're living in a world where you don't have any peace. No one can control your mind. I don't care what they do to you. I don't care. I mean, truth be told, think about that for a second. Let's get into this topic, the enslaved mind. Back in the 1800s, our people were enslaved, and it was a mind thing. It was not, it was physical as well, but it was mind thing. But even through that portion or that lifespan or that era of enslavement, today some of us are still there, even though we're not on the plantation. We're still there. We on the plantation in our mind. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Easily to
Oh,
say when somebody allows anything to put them in bondage,
yes.
anything to put you in bondage,
Something that I've observed.
anything. It doesn't matter. Well, if I feel rigid,
Yes. Yeah, I've observed that
intimate.
people, you know, make sure my connection is good. I've observed that when people are in a state of mind where they're used to responding in a way that disturbs their peace, they have a world view, almost a victim mentality that everybody's out to get me, everybody's trying to do me wrong. And so they interpret every random thing that happens, it really has nothing to do with them, as if it's somehow an attack on them. Almost like, if it rains, you know, God wanted to uh, spoil my day. I had a picnic planned and now it rained. Oh, see, I mean, it's almost like that mentality. Anything that happens, they see it as personal, and they responded if it's personal. Uh, Something as simple
Hmm.
as going to a store, and the maybe the person right before you get ready to check out your groceries, they got some kind of technical issue, and so it's taking longer. And this person who's got that victim mentality is thinking, oh, this cash register doesn't respect my time. Well, it's not. They don't have anything to do with you. They're trying to handle a situation with a customer. They're not ignoring you or making you late for wherever you had to go, and you're in a rush. They're handling a situation, and it's not personal. But there are people who take everything personally. Even something as simple as you're calling somebody, and maybe they don't call you back right away. They kind of could have been in a meeting, didn't have their phone or whatever. Oh, this person, they don't think I'm important enough to call back. And I mean, we've all had people that respond that way. They take something that isn't personal and make it personal and get themselves all upset. So by the time they finally talk to you, they've had all this self-talk in their own mind about how you didn't think they were important enough to call back. You ignored their calls. You must be mad at them. Why are you doing this to them? And they've been a good friend to you, and you're treating them like this. So by the time they actually talk to you, they're responding to all these things in their own mind. And you're wondering, why are they
Yeah.
upset? Why this intense reaction to me? I've done nothing. It's because they have made a whole story up about a situation in their own mind, and they're responding to what is in their own mind. And you have no clue of this train of thought that they've gone through. And so you don't understand, why are they responding with such intense emotional upset. People do it all the time. They don't realize
Yeah.
they created a scenario in their own minds that they're responding to,
Hmm.
and the other person did absolutely nothing to them at all.
Right. And again, people are on threat systems. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. It's called threat system. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's a mindset.
How can you treat me like
What
this?
we need.
I didn't treat you
Yeah, it's a mindset. It's a mindset, but at the same token, you should know where you are. Again, you can only be on the threat system. You're going to be on the drive system. It's like, oh, I just want to get the job done. I'm motivated to get the job done. Soothing system. Oh, I'm going through too much right now. Let me soothe myself. You know what I'm saying? Let
any.
me stop what I'm doing and soothe myself. And I think if we understand the balance of those things, because the
Yeah.
threat system is only there to let you know, okay, you in trouble. That's all it's there to let you know. You don't have to go any further. Oh, I have to defend myself because they're about to get me or they're about to take. No, ain't none of that going to happen. It's not going to happen, especially when it has something to do with words. Now, of course, if it's an emergency and you're seriously threatened for your life, that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm talking about just interaction, normal interactions with conflicts in everyday language. You know what I'm saying? Actions from people to people. And these things do happen. Again, we have to identify those things and ask, okay, is this a peace stealer? And you need to ask yourself that. Is this a peace stealer today that just came into my midst? Okay, that's
Mm,
going to help you to analyze. Because now you want to go back to thinking, not feeling. Because feeling, you're in a critical area if you just stay emotionally. If you stay in your
mm,
emotions concerning that, you're going to be in a critical area. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to go on autopilot. Autopilot is like, oh, what do I do if I'm in the threat system? So I become very impulsive. I'm thinking the worst, and there you go. But
mm,
again, if I stay internally focused, I'm not outside now. Outside focus, externally focused. It's like I'm focusing on the person, what they're saying, what they're doing, all the outside stuff, right? But if I'm internally focusing, I'm saying to myself, okay, is this a peace stealer today?
mm,
You know, I'm saying to myself, and then I'm checking.
mm.
I'm checking. Okay, how do I feel about this? It's not about what they're saying or what they're doing. I want to know how I'm feeling. How am I
Mm,
feeling about this? Why is this disturbing me? What's
mm,
causing this to happen? Now I can do something about that. I cannot do anything about what people are saying to me because I don't control people, right?
mm.
I control myself. I feel challenged by it. Okay, I do, but I got to comprehend it as well, comprehending how I am responding to it.
Mm. I have a
Does that
question.
make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I have a question about an incident. Someone close to me um, shared an experience they had that was very disturbing to them. They were a teacher in a school, and they were assisting in a classroom, and it was a classroom of young children, um, and the class was a little bit unruly. So what she did, she kind of told a joke to get the children to relax, laugh, and everything, and kind of be in a different frame of mind, but more or less settle down, but in a way with rather than screaming, "Shut up, sit down," she just kind of told a joke, and then they laughed, and then and they they were okay after they just kind of settled down. But the other teacher was upset that she had done this because I guess this wasn't her method of bringing the class to order. So she kind of berated her in front of the children and in a way that was very hurtful. And so, my associate, she didn't say anything to her because she thought, well, I don't want to make it worse by us arguing in front of the children. But then later that day, she actually got physically ill and ended up you know, going home and took the next day off. And I was explaining to her, and she was saying how depressed she was after that incident, and how, of course, she felt publicly humiliated in front of children and all of that. And but she thought that the best response was for her to remain silent. And yet it was obviously eating at her because she got ill the very next day. And so my suggestion was for her not to just let it go because it was obviously manifesting in a physical illness because she was depressed, because she felt humiliated, and all of those emotions were there. And so I told her that she should
Mm-hmm.
write a letter to the principal and explain what happened, explain that was inappropriate to have spoken to her that way in front of the children. She said this teacher that spoke to her was like young enough to be her daughter. So it's like you're disrespecting an elder who I am, and you're disrespecting me publicly in front of the children, and you're disrespecting me after I did something positive to try to help the classroom. So she was feeling all of those negative things, but because she didn't address it and internalize it, she got ill. And so my suggestion to her was that she openly confront it, but in a calm
Mm-hmm.
way. First, write a letter, explain what happened to the principal, and then request the principal uh, bring all of them in a conference to discuss the inappropriate way that that teacher had spoken to her in public. And I said you have to stand up for yourself, because if you don't, you're going to feel bad that you allowed this because it was public. Yes, you can maybe have compassion. Maybe the young teacher was going through stress or whatever, but still, you feel injured and you feel it. And that's why you ended up getting sick, getting sick, and then not, having to miss a day at work because internally you're feeling, and maybe what you say about feeling threatened, this person threatened
Right.
the
Yeah.
respect of children from me by saying and doing these things publicly. So what do you think about that kind of situation? If someone has received some type of public insult, and even though you might keep yourself calm and say, okay, well, that's them, they're acting out, it has nothing to do with me, still you feel the
Mm.
effects of it. What is the best way to address a situation like that?
Well, first, I would say after the incident, I would pull that person to the side and talk to that person. That's what I would do. But I know everyone is not me. So, I mean,
Everybody doesn't have the ability
because,
to stand up for
yeah,
themselves for a reason.
right, right. And that being said, because they're going to stuff those feelings, they're going to feel that someone, stepped on their heart, stepped,
Yeah.
took advantage of them in some type of way, which again is going to stress them out, and those hormones are going to start being released, and that will bring sickness to the body. I said that early before you got on, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened to her. She became depressed behind that, and it was so hard. So she got, and like you said, she could write a letter, but those words have to come out. And she needs to let whoever it was know, just plain and simple. I just want to let you know, that I really didn't like what you said to me. No, hurt is overrated. Now we can't use that word
Mm-hmm.
because if they did more than hurt her. You see what I'm saying? And that person needed to know that. Maybe not in the moment, wasn't in front of the kids, but after the kids was gone, excuse me, ma'am, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
I just want to let you
Yeah.
know, I think we have an issue. We have an issue, and I think that we need to talk about this so it doesn't occur again, because that's not going to happen again. That's not. I'm not going to allow that to happen again. So I just want to know right now, is there anything you want to say to me while we're in front of each other right now? Because I don't want to come in your midst again and then this happens again, because then you leave me no other choice but to do what I feel is best for myself, you know. And I mean, even if a person has low self-esteem in anything, you have to let, wrong is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with approaching a person afterwards and pulling them. I call them pulling them to the side. Hey, excuse me. Yes, I just want to let you know you are not invisible, and neither am I. So please don't treat me like that, because I can't
Mm.
allow you to do that. Don't treat me
Mm.
like I'm invisible, like I don't exist. No,
Mm.
ma'am. And I'm telling you, when you say it in a calm way, not screaming and yelling, they'll get it. And
Yeah.
they would think twice when they come to you again. If you look them directly in the eyes and you let them know, do not treat me as though I am invisible. No.
Mm.
Because that's what a person does. I mean, when people do that to people, they treat them like they're invisible, like they don't have feelings, like they don't exist.
Right. Absolutely. Now you have some
Yes, ma'am.
people that are kind of hood, and they're responsible.
It's
What you
okay.
gonna do about it?
They need to know too.
How do you
I
how
ain't
do
gonna
you
do
handle?
nothing about it. I'm gonna. I don't, and I'll tell them straight up. I can see what type of mentality that you have, and I choose not to engage in that. So,
Mm.
if, I mean, if they going back and forth with this, I'm saying, now you ain't even. You're not even. I will look at them and walk away. I will
Mm.
seriously walk away. And if we're on a job or we're anywhere, I would then go to the next level, whoever is in charge of her, and say,
Mm.
excuse me, I just want to let you know your employee attacked me verbally. Your
Mm.
employee threatened me verbally, and I'm reporting her. And if you, I just need to let you know. And then I'm going to send an email to corporate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send an email to the manager. CC corporate, so I can get it all over. Because if you keep verbally attacking me, verbally attack is just as bad as somebody putting their hands on you because it
Yeah.
goes inward. And so if you
Yes.
keep verbally attacking me in some way, even after I've already told you more than one time, then the next thing is the authorities.
Mm.
That's the next thing. It's the authorities because you're slandering me on my job. You're making it very uncomfortable for me to come to my workplace. And no
Mm.
one seems to understand that. So, corporate, I'm okay. I'm gonna go ahead and file my report, copy that, send that in an attached mail to corporate. I just want to let you know I filed a case right here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they will
Mm-hmm.
do something, but you got to handle it in a certain way. No, arguing and going back and forth. No, we ain't got time for that. Mm-mm.
Mm.
That's a peace stealer. You don't let anyone take your peace. You don't let anyone take your joy. You don't let anyone take your power. No, that
Mm.
belongs to you.
Absolutely.
And you don't
Absolutely.
share
We
it.
got it.
You don't share
Yeah.
it because
Don't
everybody
share.
got their own stuff.
Absolutely. We got a call on the line. You want to take the caller now or take a break and
Understand?
absolutely. You want to take a caller now or take a caller after the break? You want,
Well, I mean, you got like 2 minutes if you want to
okay.
take
Well,
it now, you can.
all right. All right. Area code 872-200. Your mic is open. Give us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Dr. Debbie Green.
Good morning, ladies. This is Kofi
Good morning,
in
Kofi.
Chicago right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been on in a while.
Morning.
Yes.
Hmm?
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just been um, watching this World War III, this ignorance going on in the world. I saw it coming a long time ago.
Mm.
I was just dealing with my great situation where I found out that I'm a reincarnated child of my grandfather.
Mm.
He was the Bishop of Northern California. And my family sent me his picture. I'm like, I look just like this guy. They're like, no, Kofi, you are him.
Mm.
I said, a heart like him. His name is Ben. I just found this out last year. His name is Ben, and I named my son Ben. Okay, so I pretty much just been watching everything go down, and what Sister Debbie's talking about, the harassment. The next phase of Satan's kingdom is to harass the children of the Creator, and they're at the point now where the next step is to harass us. It's going all over. It's all over the world. I mean, I feel it when I go outside. There's some harassment because what happened was we ascended. Our ascension has taken place already this past few years. In other words, what I mean is we realize we realize our gift, we realize our power, and the enemy didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He saw he was trying to stop us, he couldn't, and now that we've arrived, the enemy's like, you left me. No, we didn't leave you. You wasn't choose to do this. This is supposed to happen. We are supposed to ascend over you. But because we have a spiritual nature that's over the enemy, when we get in these jobs and you have these tiers, these layers, these managers, they use their position to start harassing us. This is in a circle. It's been a problem. That's the problem in the spirit. So what the sister is saying is it's happening to her. It's happening to everybody. And I will let everybody know, don't look at it as a negative. This is supposed to happen. Because when the enemy comes to attack us in such a way, they're actually bowing down to us. And the word says the enemy will become your footstool. They're actually bowing down. They're actually serving you. They actually like, I got harassed you because I don't know anything else to do. The devil does what the devil does. He cannot go through a day without harassing someone. That's his job.
Well, that how we respond to it will determine what happens next.
When the devil comes around, now you take notes, you write it down, you get your lawsuit, and then you cash out, because that's how it goes.
That's definitely a thing. We got to take a break, but that's definitely a thing that many people are addressing. Is, well, like we talked about, the feeling of being attacked, but then of course how you respond will determine whether or not you maintain your inner peace. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. You're listening to and watching The Female Solution, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And if you are on our switchboard now and have a comment or a question, press 1. If you're listening online and want to join this conversation, give us a call, 515-605-9325. And again, press 1 if you're ready to speak, and we'll come right to you and get your thoughts. We'll be right back. So stay with us.
Have you ever dreamed of going to exotic places, meeting fascinating people, enjoying uplifting music, and spending nights in a luxurious hotel? Do you look forward to a relaxing vacation where you can walk along the beach or in a quiet park and enjoy the sunset and rise? You're flying around the world or driving across the country, we will share travel tips that will help you stay safe while you enjoy the journey. Join me every third Saturday of the month, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and around with Deborah here on the Female Solution Show. Call in and comment 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. Join us every second Saturday of the month, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time, here on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show for Neighborship of Joy. We'll have conversations.
Oh, Jesus.
So call in 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak to the host. You can also join us live on the Female Solution Facebook page and YouTube channel. So see you on the second Saturday on the Neighborship of Joy. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of Associated Internet Radio hosts, On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family come together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet. We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world who are using their internet platform to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insight, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to onaireverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time. Tune in to Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear great topics and stories on grief and turn it into victory. Join Dr. Debbie Green to listen to stories of triumph and learn how to overcome. You are not alone in your life, and there is hope in the darkest hour. This is your time to learn strategies and solutions to improve your life. It's your time. So join Dr. Debbie Green with Soulful Solutions and call in on Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 515-605-9325 with comments and questions. Look to hear from you real soon.
All right, we are back.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. My name is Dr. Debbie Green. This is Soulful Solutions with my wonderful co-host, Naomi Latif, our executive producer of The Female Solution. If you're just joining us, we're talking about how valuable is your peace of mind? You know, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to take, to keep it, and how to keep it, how to maintain it each and every day? Because again, if one has not experienced peace, one cannot maintain peace because you don't know what it is,
Absolutely.
So we definitely want to examine that. We were talking about how the mind looks at it. The mind looks at it as either, again, you're either going to be in the threat system, they're thinking everything is wrong, everything's happening to me, lifetime. That's what it's either that or you're going to be in the drive. I'm motivated. I am motivated to do something for myself, do something for someone else. And I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to get into this whining kind of mode where it seems like nothing ever goes right. No, that's the threat system. Okay? You got to be careful that you're not your own peace stealer. Because you could be your own peace stealer, and you don't want to get into a habitual mindset of always finding fault. I tell people to remain neutral. If you remain neutral in everything, you will be surprised that your executive director, which is your frontal lobe, will actually do all the work for you because we have a built-in problem solver. God created this wonderful thing called the mind, but also the brain. Those are two different things. The brain is the physical. The mind is non-physical. So, if we allow ourselves to stay present, and stay present in the moment, because guess what? Something could upset you last week, and you still thinking about the same thing. Whose choice is that? Is it because of the person that did it, or is it yours? No, it's yours. You see what I'm saying? Once shame on you, twice shame on me. No, it's yours. You are still in living your past. If you're constantly in your past, and if your past is negative, or you say it's negative, because be careful what you call negative. Most people call things negative because it's not something that they want. And they think, oh, that's wrong. Okay, why is it wrong? Who says it wrong? Is it because you said it? Or because in reality, it really is. So be careful for your virtual reality being altered, because most of the time we alter our virtual reality. Virtual reality is what you think in your head. If you think in your head that something is negative, oh, that's a problem. Okay, guess what? It's going to automatically be a problem because you say it's a problem. Guess what the brain does? The brain is going to look at it as an issue. Guess what's going to happen? Here we go again. You're going to go right back in the threat mode. Hormones, adrenaline is going to be released. Adrenaline is going to turn to cortisol. Cortisol is going to turn to stress radicals. And if that happens too often, your body is going to have a physical manifestation of sickness.
Ooh. Now I have a question. And the last caller mentioned a thing that people are choosing to get upset about, the war. And there's always war happening somewhere on the earth, generally. But I took a walk this morning, and I live on a very peaceful street. I'm very grateful for that. I was able to, walk several blocks, very peaceful, calm, looked at the beautiful trees, commune with nature, all of that. And I thought, I'm so grateful that it is peaceful where I am. Now, there is war happening somewhere else, but it's not happening to me. So if I'm appreciating the peace that I'm experiencing, then I have inner peace. But there are a lot of people who will turn on the news and watch the information about the war and be upset about it and carry that feeling of anxiety all day long, even though where they actually are, it's peaceful. Now, some people say, well, you have to know what's going on in the world. You have to pay attention. And yet, my thought is, if you right now cannot physically do anything to solve a condition that other people actually created for themselves, because there's really nothing stopping the people involved from choosing to be at peace with each other, they're making that choice. And if you cannot stop their choice to be at war, why are you choosing to be disturbed inside yourself when where you are is peaceful and your life is not under threat? So that's the way I looked at it. What are your thoughts on that? Because a lot of people are not knowing how to manage the constant feeling of anxiety that they receive or that they allow themselves to receive whenever they hear of a conflict somewhere else in the world.
Well, again, we're human beings with emotions. I mean, that's normal to to like, oh my God, that happened or whatever. Okay, you'll get the startled moment. You may even go through a little roller coaster emotional thingy. All right. But the thing about this is, how long are you going to do that? It's the question. So, time and frequency is everything. So if like he was using the war, okay, we know in retrospect, in reality, ain't nothing we can do about it. Nothing whatsoever. So why consciously, and I would say rational and reasonably, would I sit here and ponder on something I have no control over at all? Period. So now I'm being my own peace sealer. You see? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
making a choice. I am making a choice to keep rolling that around in my spirit, in my mind. Now I am my own peace stealer. It's not the war, it's me.
Right.
It's me. It's me adapting to things outside of myself. Remember, it's two focuses. It's external focus and internal focus. Our goal is to balance in each one. You can't stay inside your head too long, but you also can't stay outside of your head too long either. You have to balance. You have to know what's yours and what's not yours and what you adapt to. Because we start adopt. It's like people adopt children. We adopt feelings. We adopt wars. We adopt chaos. Adopt it and make it our own. And it's not yours. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? You have to
Right.
learn how to mentally mind your business.
Mentally
Mentally,
mind your business. I,
mentally. Yeah, yeah. You got to
and
learn how to mentally mind your business
yeah,
because if you don't, you will get emotionally overthrown.
yes. And I think a
It's
lot of
very
people
easy
are
to do.
overwhelmed with that. And unfortunately, because we keep choosing to listen to the most distressing information that is being made available, we're choosing to hear the stories about the murdered children and all of those things that are distressing. And like you said, if you cannot physically do something to change a situation, why are you allowing it to steal your peace? Now, I'm not saying don't take responsibility for what is happening in the world anywhere, but we have to come to a realization that people are choosing to be in conflict. It's just like in a one-on-one relationship. People choose to be in conflict. You can just as easily choose not to be in conflict. and then they receive the consequences of that
Right.
choice. So just as I walked down the street and saw the, peaceful environment, the neighbors are choosing not to fight each other. So therefore, there's peace. Everywhere in the world, people can make that same choice. Now, why are they choosing not to? That's the question. Why are people choosing to create pain and suffering and distress for themselves when it is not necessary? It's a choice. And I think the more we take responsibility for our choices, the more we can be at peace and the more we can recognize that other people have created the reality that they're experiencing. Now, we can urge people not to do that. And we can say, I don't want my
Right.
money to go for the maintenance of that. But people have to choose peace because it's in their best interest. And as long as they're choosing conflict and experiencing the consequences of that conflict, that's something that they have to make a decision to change. And being upset about it doesn't change their decision. It only changes your internal condition. And like you said, you make yourself sick.
Right. But can I tell you something? And truth be told, people can only choose what they are. So if
Mm,
you're not a person of peace, that's the only thing you're going to attract. You
mm,
that's whatever you in what is ever in your heart, whatever a man in his heart is, that's what he's going to be.
can
So
imagine.
you can't attract peace if you don't have it. If it's
Mm,
not something that's living inside of you, which means that it is there, but again, life happened and you became life. You didn't
mm,
understand that life, you know, doesn't have to become you. You became life. So if you were traumatized, if you was abused, if you whatever, you became the very thing that you did not want, the very thing that you hated, the very thing that you despised. You became that thing. So now you're walking, breathing it out in the universe. You see what I'm saying? So quite naturally, laws of affirmity, laws of affinity tells us whatever you put out, you're going to get back. So
mm,
that's what it is. Like you say, well, why can't they, or why should just whatever's inside of them, they they just put out. They just because we're porous. We're porous. Everything goes through this being and comes out. It's just like a revolving door. That's all it is. And
yeah,
I really think people don't really they don't get that, Naima. I mean, I'm not saying that I never went through that. I had to learn this over a period of years that whatever's in my being comes outward into the world and comes back to me. You know what I mean? So I
right.
learned the laws of affirmity, and I learned the laws of compensation. I learned the laws of receiving and giving, and the laws of expectations. So I in my mind, I say to myself, okay, am I balanced today? You know what I'm saying? No, it's not a perfect life. I am an optimist. I'm not perfect. I don't wake up happy every day. I wake up content and I wake up cheerful and thankful. Those I wake up with. Those are my rules. That's in my rule
Mm,
book. That never ever changes. No matter
mm,
what is happening in my life, I have to choose. Because if I don't choose, then life would choose for me. And I may not be happy with that. Because,
mm.
like I said, I will not be my own peace stealer. I can't.
Yes, we are our
You know
own.
how hard it is?
Yes,
Do you know how difficult it is? If you're your own peace stealer and then you're looking at everybody else that they're doing it, but then you're doing it on your own, that's the worst of the worst. How you
it's a
can live like that. And
story.
people live this way. Like you said, why don't they see? Why don't they look at the trees? Why don't they look at the sky? Well, because deep down inside them, they're not there. It's their. I mean, I hate to say it, but we have a lot of damaged people,
Yeah,
damaged goods that's walking this earth. They're damaged. And I
damn.
mean, I wish I had a beautiful bullhorn or magic wand that I could say poo poo poo. You know,
It
I
is
would love, oh my
fire them.
goodness, that this all the
Yes,
hurting people because they're hurting and they don't even
they.
know they're hurting. They don't even
I,
know they're in pain. That's the sad thing about it. They don't know. They don't know because they've been there so long. I deal with people every day like this. Somebody's like, oh my goodness. I said, well, do you know what peace of mind? He said, I never had peace. I said, what? You've
What?
never,
What?
okay.
Yeah. Oh
I
no.
said, I'm so serious. You don't think people like this exist? They do. A person cycles in depression I
Mm,
mean, since they were kids, and they constantly cycle because of their mindset. And they're like, okay, so do you have peace today? No. Why? Because I feel sad. I feel this. I feel that. Okay. I said, well, choose something different. Because I don't give them options to stay
mm,
there. I said, no, you have to choose. So I'm so sorry. It's not an option for you to feel sick today. It's not an option for you to feel sad today. You've been feeling so long. You're so used to feeling. You don't even know how to feel anything else. You're so afraid of something good is going to happen. You start speaking that is not going to happen. When it starts feeling good, you become your own peace stealer.
now,
Stop it.
is that a pattern that's set in childhood? Perhaps a child didn't experience little joys that because it doesn't take much to make a child happy, to run and play, to play in a sandbox, to get on the swings, to be able to just laugh, if you have a memory of what it felt like to laugh and feel joy and feel free to express your joy, if you have a memory of how that feels, then you can recreate that memory. But what if you never had a memory of joy? What if you never had a memory of peace where you felt comfortable, you felt safe, you felt loved? What if you don't have a memory of that? Because the kind of childhood you had may have been chaotic. Maybe you might have, if you didn't live in a war zone, you had war going on in your house all the time between your parents and everybody. So what if you don't have a memory of how it feels to be at peace? How can you create something that you have never experienced so you can't recreate it? How do you do that if you don't have a childhood memory that you can remember where you actually felt joy and you were at peace?
When we were 3 years old, Naima, someone can give you three crayons and a blank piece of paper. You're not going to ask any questions. The first thing you're going to do is grab a crayon, doesn't matter what color, and you're going to sit down somewhere, stand somewhere, however, and your hand is going to start moving on that paper. It is the same mindset when it comes to creating a life of peace.
Mm,
You are the creator. You
mhm,
are the shot caller. You are the king or the queen of
mhm,
your own life. God is He is the orifice. He is the one that gave it to you. No, God doesn't create life for us, and people don't realize that. We were sent here with a destiny and a
mm,
purpose. But the life that was created to get to that destiny and purpose has to be created by you. You
mm.
see what I'm saying? He put the gift inside of you. All you have to do is tap in. When you
Right.
tap in into the gift that's inside of you, which is called peace, which is called joy, determination, power, authority. I can go on and on what it's called. Then what
Mm,
happens is you start executing. Executing, then you become from doing to being. Being is one of those things that most people don't do because they end up doing. I'm doing something in my life. I'm not being anything. You see what I'm saying? And we
wow.
get that confused. We get that
Yeah.
very confused. Go back to being. What does that mean? That means to think, you thank God for the breath,
Mm,
being able to breathe in and breathe out. Because promise you, if you can't
yes.
breathe in, breathe out, you think about peace. That right there, you wouldn't even that you're not even in existence. You know how hard it is for a person to walk around with an oxygen tank on them, and they just got to concentrate on breathing, not just concentrate
Mm,
on just doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So
Just
you have
breathing.
human beings that walk around and they can breathe fine. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But what are they
Yeah.
breathing out? Hatred. What are they breathing
Oh,
out? Anger. What are they breathing out? Tickler.
wow.
What are they breathing out? All of this stuff, they're wasting the breath on something that steals peace.
Mm.
Do you see what I'm saying? You can't
Oh,
waste the breath on that. If you see somebody coming to you wasting a breath, don't you start breathing that same toxic energy?
mm.
No, 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 no.
And it,
You breathe out love in the midst of hate. You breathe out, you know what I'm saying, joy in the midst of anger. Breathe it out. Say, okay, well, you're angry, but guess what? I'm so happy today.
yeah.
I'm so happy today. I don't even know what to do with myself. You upset? Oh, I'm so, look here. I'm so sorry it's not an option for you, but guess what? Guess what? You can change that right now. I know you mad. I know you upset. I know you're upset. But let's change that right now. Let's change it. Oh, it's not gonna work. Yes, it is. Who you mad with? With me? Fine. I don't care. Let's change it.
Have you ever had a person angry at you for being joyful? It's like, what you so happy?
Yes.
What is that? Why? Why are people offended if you're
I
not
told him,
going
I
to
said,
share their anger?
that is because they're miserable. They're
Really,
miserable. They're in,
really
remember I
love.
told you, whatever is inside is going to come out. So
Yeah.
the only way to eliminate the negative energy of discontentment, because that's what that is, okay? You know, you have to give them an overflow of nothing but love. I mean, I douse people with it. Some people can be on my job and I said, oh, I think you need a happy pill today, don't you?
It's so
You need a
funny.
happy pill today. I tell you what, I got a whole handful. You want some? Come on and eat some. And you know, because they're gonna laugh, even if they're having a bad day, because it makes it funny. Laughter
Yeah,
is the best medicine. I'm
it
telling
is.
you. When you get upset, I'm like, you know what? You are too funny. You all angry. Oh, that's so funny.
Yes.
Most people don't get angry because you know what? They allow that peace stealer to come inside
Yeah.
their heart and change everything. And now, guess what they're going to do? That person stole their peace, going on about their business, and they're sitting there holding it inside. I don't
Still
believe
holding
they
on
did
to
this
it.
to me. I don't
Man.
believe they did this to me. I don't believe. Oh, then went to sleep with it. Wake up with it. Don't you know? Then calling everybody else. Don't you know what so and so say to me? This
Yeah.
taking that stuff and spreading it from one
They want
person
other
to
people to
another
share
person.
their.
Stop that. If you're doing that, that's not an option. Stop.
But now
No, don't
people
spread
feel like,
toxic energy.
so what about this belief that people have that if someone has caused them pain, if they return the pain, they'll feel better? I guess that's really the philosophy behind fighting. If someone hits you, if you hit them
That's
back harder, you're going to feel better. So, and that's basically the energy of war. If you cause me pain, I'm going to cause you greater pain, and that's going to give me satisfaction. I have won. You know, you can't win a fight. You can't. If you're fighting, you've already lost. But the
how.
belief
That's so
that
exactly.
return pain for more pain, and then of course the other person, they're going to feel like, oh well, I'm going to cause you even more pain than you caused me. So then they hit you back, and then you're trying to top them. Well, I'm going to cause you more pain than that. So that's the energy of
Oh, so
war. So
now we
it,
pay. Oh
yeah, going tit for tat. I'm gonna cause you more
no,
pain than you just caused me. Oh, I'm gonna cause
I'm
you
so
more pain than
sorry.
that. So I mean, that's
That's not
whether
an
it's
option.
verbal or physical,
Mm-mm.
but that's what people believe. So how does a person get out of that mindset that the way to settle something that someone has created some kind of injury is to cause them greater injury? How does a person get out of that erroneous belief system that we've all been raised in, so that what we learn how to do is restore the peace as opposed to escalating into conflict, whether it's verbal or physical? How do we learn the techniques of restoring peace?
Well, first of all, a person has to have some kind of self-awareness that they're doing this, because a lot of people do it with no self-awareness. They go back
Mm,
and forth on a constant thing. Okay, so if you know by your habits that you're sensitive to other people's words and other people's actions, because really that's what it is, because you believe those things as truth. If you believe something as truth when someone says something to you, and you saying, oh, why are you saying that to me? Blah, blah, blah. So here we go, throwing up the threat system all over again. The ego is staying effective, and the autopilot just turns on. Boom. Guess what? You're not even in your logical mind no more. You're automatically responding to this thought of this person, which is actions and words coming out of their mouth, now becomes your actions and your words. So who you are? You a puppet? Maybe so, okay. And somebody can come around you and dangle the rat, like I said, dangle the carrot, and you're gonna bite the carrot. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, this is what people go through each and every day. They go through these things, something is dangled in front of them, and they automatically bite instead of saying, let me do this thing called power pause. Okay, if I allow that to become as truth, what this person just said or just do, which means if I believe it to be true in my world, then guess what? I'm going to respond to it negatively. Guess what? How you going to give your power to somebody else? Hello? How you going to give your power to somebody else? And how you going to walk in your own authority?
Giving the power
And
to
this is
somebody.
this is what you giving your power to somebody else. Now you say they can call you and they can make you and they can do that. And people say, "Oh, you made me do it." Nobody didn't make you do anything. Nobody didn't hold your hands. Nobody didn't open your mouth to speak. You did it, right? Because you took it personally, didn't you? Didn't you believe it as truth?
Absolutely.
Anytime we believe something as true, we take it personally. And then guess what? It's not that the person is saying that this, it's what's coming out of you. What's coming out of you with this thing? Okay, check what's coming out of you. Where that button come from? Why is that button still there? Why are you not doing anything about the button? It's the question. Or you can keep
Absolutely.
on responding like you used to respond. Because every time somebody says something to you, you get hot under the collar. You get upset. Either that you're going to come out and spew it all out your mouth like you usually do, or you ain't going to do nothing but have this shut mouth. Okay? Shut mouth.
Ooh.
I don't know why she's saying that. I'm so tired of her. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Guess what? You swallowing your energy. You swallowing your words.
Oh.
You swallowing your
Oh.
damaged emotions. And if you keep doing that, you're going to cause major problems in your
It's
mind. You're
sick.
going to cause major problems in your heart. You're going to cause major problems in your body because emotions are energy in motions that can turn toxic to the point where it's going to break you down over a period of time.
And
I'm just
that's
saying.
what manifested as sickness. And I've, of course,
Hello,
read
wake
that
up.
cancer of the throat cancer comes from swallowing anger. So when you don't speak and you're angry, the energy in motion is going inward to that area where you should have released the energy
I
with
got an
your.
invitation.
All right. Okay now. Well let's get our
Woo!
travel agent
Send
Deborah
me a
on
ticket. I'll
get us
come.
to Ghana. Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. And we need to definitely look at all the places where people are struggling with mental illness. Your mind is sick because of not addressing the situation in a way that restores the peace. We got to take one last break and we'll be right back. Somebody made me do it. That's the excuse. Yes. How many times do we blame our behavior on somebody else? She made me mad. No, you chose to be mad. That person had no power of you that you did not give them. You gave them the power to control your emotions. Take your power back. Choose not to be angry.
Take your powers back.
Choose to address the situation, but still maintain your inner peace. We got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com. Hey, it's time to take charge of your health. I'm Viata, your holistic life coach, and every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm here on the Female Solution to empower you to make choices that will assist your evolution to abundant health. I'm also blogging every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's Soul Purpose Healing, where I bring you a spiritual chiropractic adjustment to bring you back into alignment with our Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. Join me every Friday morning at 8 a.m. and Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for a time of unity, enlightenment, and love vibration. Shalom.
You're back.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We're at the top of our hour. My name is Dr. Debbie Green. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today on Soulful Solution, watching on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. We need to hear your feedback. If you have any topics or anything that you want to talk about, anything with life, because I'm a subject matter specialist, just go ahead and just plug it in there. I want to know more about this. I want to know more about that, and I will gladly give you some feedback on it. Thank you, everyone on Facebook that's watching. Definitely thank you for your views as well as your comments during this time, because believe me, there's really peace is a commodity. It is something that's very, very valuable. But guess what? A lot of people, we got billions of people on this earth, and the majority of them, I know it may sound really sad, okay, a very high percentage that don't even know what peace is, don't have a clue what it is. They think peace is, eating ice cream on a sunny day. Okay, it could be somebody's peace. They think peace is having all the money, but then they'll realize that no matter what you have on the outside of yourself, that is not peace, people. It's not. Peace is internal. It's internal. It is not external. It's internal. So just be mindful and look at the value of it. The value is something that comes from the inside outwardly. That's what it is. And if you're struggling with peace today, and you're like, wait a minute, Dr. Deb, I don't know what that is. I've never identified with it. I never had it. Okay, I want you to do a couple of things. I want you to check your identity. Check your identity, which is like, do you know who you are? You know what I'm saying? Do you know who you are? Are you aware of your actions, your behaviors? Are you aware of your characteristics? I'm not talking about what your mother or father or sister might say, or even what your friends think of you. No, that's not what I'm saying. I said, do you know who you are? Are you aware of your own being from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? The reason why I'm asking that because people struggle with their peace of mind because they don't know who they are. They lost that identity somehow, somewhere, on the journey called life. The journey called life can be rocky roads. It can be high mountains and deep valleys. But at the same token, I want you to know that you can choose a life for yourself. All you have to do is make the determined factor that I want this, I desire this. You know what I'm saying? And understand that there's differences because we just went over the mind today. And really, truly, I want to kind of keep this going. So the next couple of shows, I'm just going to keep peace going because I really think people need to really understand. Because if you don't and guide, but also protect and secure your mind gates, you will be subject to something stealing your peace, or you will also create habits of peace stealing. Please understand, it's how we respond to the world. It's not the world responding to us. The world is anything outside of yourself. Anything
Mm,
outside of yourself. It doesn't matter
yeah,
what it is.
mm.
You see
I
what I'm
got
saying? I don't care if a kitten can walk up. 1 second, please. A kitten can walk up and you can say, "Oh my God, what a great tiger!" And you know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, it's just a kitten, right?" But it's all about how we see. It's our vision. So check your vision, check your view, check your vision, and check your view of how you see the world around you, because that's a big difference on how you maintain your peace. Go ahead, woman. Go ahead, darling. Go
well,
ahead.
well, you know what a lot of people do, and like you mentioned, who are you, and how, do you know your own identity? If people have perhaps had an encounter with someone, or might even be a family member or parent who raised them, or somebody at school or on a job or whatever, that says something negative about you or thinks something negative about you. Maybe they think you're ugly. Maybe they think you're stupid. Maybe they think you're too skinny or too fat or too short or too tall. Whatever they think about you, and they say something derogatory about you. Maybe they think you're unintelligent or whatever the case may be. And they have expressed their thought about you. Sometimes people feel like they have to make that person change their mind. Like, I'm going to show them that I'm smart, or I'm going to,
Mhm.
whatever it is, trying to make someone else change their minds about you instead of you choosing to define yourself. And this is what I think, when people are overly concerned with someone else's racism or sexism or classism or whatever it is that they have decided that you represent, that they think is lesser than, why would you put forth energy trying to change their mind about you unless you
Okay.
have accepted their thought that this is what you are? You are lesser than. You are believing that yourself. If you don't believe that yourself, then you don't
Yeah.
care what they think. What they think has no relevance, and it has no effect or impact on you. People, I see us as a people spending a
Mhm.
lot of energy trying to change the perceptions of others and make them not be prejudiced or racist or sexist or whatever it is that we see that they are expressing in terms of a negative attitude toward who we are, instead of us inside of ourselves affirming what we are and being happy and joyful and pleased and confident in what we are, and ignoring them. Because unless someone is threatening your physical well-being, you can ignore them. They have no power over you. Why do you give them power over you? Well, he said I was stupid. Why does what they say matter? Is it true? Do you believe it's true? If you know it's untrue, ignore them. Don't refer to them. Don't repeat it. Don't complain about it. Do not give it power. What do you think is necessary in order for people to learn to take back their power and not keep giving it away by giving attention and energy to people who define them in a way that is negative? How do we unlearn that habit of empowering people who think less of us? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing about this was and is that we experienced that in childhood. So when
Ah,
we experienced that in childhood, it became a core thought. A core
mm,
thought is a belief system. It's a schema. That's what we call it in the psychological world. It's a schema of thought patterns that we deep down in ourselves believe. So we compare that to the world. We compare that to what we see. We compare that to what we hear. So then we're walking around thinking, well, is everyone like this? But everyone is not like that. It's that that's in our head. That's what we think. You see what I'm saying? Because we're doing the comparison. So then what that does, Naima, is then take away from the human self, which is already intact before the childhood was even ever experienced. You see what I'm saying? Which is that point of peace that we had when we were a child, when we were before we experienced people. All right, before we experienced our parents, when we were a baby or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying, at our purest state, we had a purest state, and we continue to have a purest state. It's just that again, the belief systems are changed. So when the belief systems are changed, then we believe what the world is saying. We believe that we're supposed to act like the world. We believe that we're supposed to satisfy the world. And the world is anything outside of us. So
mm,
again, we're focused externally. That's
instead of
how we look at life. We're focused externally when we're really supposed to be focused internally. We're in the world, but we're not of the world. That's the word of God. That's what he
mm,
said, right? So which
mm,
means that whatever's we're in the world. That means I'm operating in this worldly system, but that does not mean that I'm of it. I'm not like them. I'm peculiar. I'm different. You see what I'm
mm.
saying? No, I'm not better than anyone else. What it is that I'm who I am, but I'm unique in myself. You unique in you. And we know by evidence. Look at your finger. Hey,
Mm.
right
Fingerprint.
there.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
fingerprint identifies your greatness. If you don't remember nothing else that Dr. Debbie says, you remember
Unique.
that. Your fingerprint identifies your greatness. So stop
Mm.
adopting, stop adapting to things that's outside of yourself. Okay, you know it's not worthy of you. Why are you adapting to it? If you know
Right.
it's disturbing your peace, why are you allowing it? You
Why
have to
allowing it?
again remember who you are and who you belong to. We can't look. I
Absolutely.
mean,
We got
what's the why? The question is, what good is it going to do you if you do allow it?
right. Yes. We've got a caller. You want to take another
Oh,
caller?
you're stuck.
Am I? Uh-oh. Am I okay now?
Yeah, you got 10 minutes. Go right
Okay.
ahead.
872-731. Your mic is open. Give us
Oh
your
no,
name.
you keep blanking out, so I can't hear you.
Really? Is it me? Oh wow. Maybe it's my internet. Okay. Make sure I'm plugged in. All right. 872
Yeah, I'm
731.
not moving. I don't think I am.
Give us your name, where you're
Good
calling
morning.
from.
Hallelujah, greetings, grand risings all. It's a wonderful subject
Yes, sir.
because, I think society has it all mixed up in the first place. We turn around and we're always trying to be something we're not. How can you even be in a relationship with somebody else when you don't even know who you are?
That's true.
You'd be giving them some sort of impression of something they thinking you one way and you're not even there. So in a society where it's all about me, man, I, that's all backwards in the first place. What about we, us, and our as a group, as a thought of a whole? It's like that's why I hate to say it just as a testimony. One of my best friends, he got further than any of us coming out of college. He went all the way to Cook County. He was the head of Cook County Hospital, head of Providence Hospital, and shoots himself in the head. He got everything people think we should have, but what's missing? So we chase after what they tell us we should chase after. We don't even take in our own gifts and talents in this process. So if you don't know your gifts and talents, you need to stop and find out what they are first. The other question is this, and I've been asking it a lot to different people. Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know a lot of people 70 years old don't even know what their purpose is?
Right. They
can't live in here.
But they have one.
7 decades and you know why you're here? Not yet.
Well, that has to do with how we when we bring a child into the world, we don't tell them that they're supposed to have a purpose.
Like if you're a doctor, you're a doctor. No, you're a human being. What type of doctor are you? What type of person are you? We focus on all these other things like intangibles, like how much money somebody got. Wow, why is it money is supposed to be the driving force, but you don't come with it and you don't leave with it?
That's right. You don't come with it and you don't
leave.
It's not as important. It's obviously not as important as what people think it is. But, you know, one last piece is this. You do connect, you do directly. Once you find out who you are, that's how people start showing up at your front door to help you do a greater work. If you don't know your purpose, people to distract you or take you the wrong direction from where you should be going. That's why you have to choose your friends very wisely.
Yes.
And the people that you involve yourself with, they should be on the same pathway as you. Otherwise, what are you doing? Fighting against yourself?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us do that.
Yes. Well, you've definitely shared some wisdom today.
Yeah, take your time. Find out who you are. What your purpose is on this planet. Have a conversation with the Most High.
And there you go. That's the key.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for those words of wisdom. We appreciate you so much.
You'll have a good life. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. You know, that's really interesting. But, you know, I've known so many people who grew up being told they were a mistake. You know, their mother didn't mean to get pregnant. Your father didn't mean to impregnate her. You were a mistake. So if you were infused with that thought your whole life that you weren't even supposed to be here, then it would never occur to you that you are a soul with a purpose. So we do our children a disservice when we say things like that or just make them feel like life is an accident. There are no accidental births anywhere. That is a soul's decision, and it takes a whole lot for you to come into being. It is not an accident. So you do have a purpose. But if we're never taught that we have a purpose, then we don't seek to find what it is. And that's what's so sad. Every soul that's here has a purpose. And we need to discover it so that we can be living that purpose. And like he said, it's not about making money, because money is just a means of exchange. What impact are you having on the planet, on the lives that you touch? That's your purpose. How do we help people find it?
That's right. Again, purpose is something that's sought after. It's inside of a human being, and it's there when they got to go internal. It's not outside. If they're living their life outside of themselves, they'll never find their purpose. They're like he said, you'll be a doctor, but then that may not have been your person. Maybe your father, his father was a doctor, but you don't know who you are. You just following the lead. So, you know what I'm saying? But deep down inside, see, that's why you have to spend time with yourself. You have to sit quietly and just allow your being to communicate with you. You know, deep breathe and don't say nothing. Just see thoughts like moving in the wind in your mind, just like going. And, you know, and if you will start feeling a presence that has been put there way before the foundation of earth was built, because, you know, God knew of you. There's no such thing as a person like, oh, I'm here by an accident. No, like you said, there is no accident. And if the person that actually birthed you in the world does not understand your value, that means you got to understand your own value. You see what I'm saying? Because you were saying, you know how many people that have been thrown away. I'm not saying thrown away, but you know what I'm saying, people have found them on doorsteps. I knew this story where this man found this baby in a garbage can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like a dumpster, and took the baby to the hospital, called the authorities, and then told him, say, I want to adopt this child. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the child grew up and became something very great. And I
Oh yeah.
mean, right now he has several bit the baby has several he's a grown man. He's gotten married, he's done everything, has several business, very wealthy. So there's
Mm-hmm.
no such thing as, and I say this because when people get caught up in that and they get caught up, oh, why my mother or my father or whatever abandoned me, and nothing abandoned you. It's just that what happens is, again, whatever is in their mind that's the issue. They're reliving their own stuff. They're reliving
Yeah.
their own grief, their own morbid thinking. And that's
Yeah.
not for us to adapt. Every human being that enters this world has a greater in them. It doesn't matter. Even if you, I don't, it doesn't matter what you go through. You can take your worst parts of your life and turn it around to help somebody and just make it a victory. Like if you went through abuse in your life, or establish a nonprofit for children that goes through abuse and speak your story. Write
Mm-hmm.
your
Right.
book. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? So
right.
many things that you could do, wherever your hardship is, wherever you find yourself, execute that thing in a peaceful manner. And
Yeah.
when you execute it, it comes to the world. And guess what? It's going to bring peace. That's what it's going to do. Your
Yeah.
pain is going to bring peace in some type of way. It was
Yeah.
designed that way. The
Yeah.
question is, how could you understand life if you haven't went through some of the worst things? No one is exempt to pain. I don't care who they are. You can have all the money in the world, you can have the greatest family, but you're still going to feel pain. Pain is a part of life, okay? All right, but it's not a part of life when you
90
take it
seconds.
and be angry about it and be grudgeful. You don't have to be grudgeful with pain. Examine it. Use it for the better good of you and yourself and
Yes.
someone else. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Facebook. I appreciate you. Join us every Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Okay? Chicago time, Central Standard Time. Thank you so much,
60
Naima, for
seconds.
being my. All
Well,
right.
it's
Don't be a
another,
peace stealer today. And don't
yes.
you allow nobody to take your peace. That's yours. That's
That's
yours. Hold it. You keep it. Do not allow
that's
anything to take your peace. And God bless you.
restore the peace.
Thank you, you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow on Health and Well-Being with Beyond on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. See you then.
We've come to the end of our show today, but you can hear every show in the archives at
See you next
www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution.
Thursday.
Also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows